Hey guys, today we're going to be jumping into a Dokkan Battle Q&A video. 8th anniversary is here. Figured I'd make some extra Dokkan videos. Don't typically do like discussion-based Dokkan videos anymore. Not as often. I won't say not anymore because I will do them in the future still. But the anniversary's here. People are enjoying the anniversary. I think the anniversary is very, very good. This is basically the start of the period for global where we just get bombarded nonstop with ridiculous, hype back to back anniversary. Then we go into worldwide. Then we have like the thank you celebration. Then we have New Year's, and then that's the end of the year. So the rest of this year is just going to be crazy. So I basically just tweeted out, reply to this tweet with any of your Dokkan related questions you have, and I will answer as much as I possibly can within a reasonable amount of time. Of course, not going to be able to get to every question. I'm going to try and probably aim for around 30 to 40 minutes here. We'll see. Legends, I did a Legends version of this as well. The Legends one went a little bit longer than I would have expected. It was like 50 minutes almost, a little bit too long for me, but we'll see. So this sort of format of video, I'm going to be reading out loud every question, so you don't have to look at your screen to see what I'm talking about. I want this to sort of be a form of content where you are going to be able to listen to it and not have to watch it. So you can have the video up while you're doing something else, while you're working, while you're playing Dokkan. You don't have to look at the screen, right? So that's the point of this style of content. All right, let's see what we got. Thoughts on Dokkan improving burst mode tools to allow for total event customization, typing, attack frequency, stats, etc., and providing a community custom stage browser for people to share and play their others' customized events. So basically, you want, this guy just literally just said what I was about to say. You're giving Dokkan Mario Maker to the community. In theory, I think that does work pretty well, but I think that takes away from like them actually being able to give us new content. So like, if they just gave us this way of creating an infinite amount of content, and you're able to share that with other people, what would be the purpose in creating new events? Because you just have unlimited amount of content anyway. I'd be for this, right? I'm just trying to think of a reason why they wouldn't do this, and that's one of the bigger things that come to mind is this detracts from future content they'd be able to create for us. But yeah, it definitely sounds like an interesting idea. Okay, what do we got? We got a Twitter Blue comment here from Zafar. A couple of questions because I've seen you making content for both of these games. Is Dokkan... okay, we got a few questions here. Is Dokkan comparable to Legends in terms of in-game modes / mechanics? I would actually say there's more in Dokkan because Dokkan's just been around for longer. And I would say that Dokkan is a game that is much more simple, and therefore it is much easier for them to create new mechanics without devoting as much development time as would be needed for Legends. Does it have ranked PvP and leaderboards? There is no PvP in the game. There are leaderboards for different types of content. So like we have Chain Battle, there's leaderboards for that. We have World Tournament, there's leaderboards for that. We have Extreme Z Awakening stages, like how many stages have you beaten? Have you gone up to 999? There's leaderboards for that. Every single stage has a timer on it, so it times it basically takes how much time it took for you to beat the stage, and it records it, and then all your friends have access to seeing how long it took you to do, so there's leaderboards for that. And I think that's all the leaderboards that exist in the game, unless I'm forgetting about something, but yeah, there are certain ways you can compete, but there's no direct PvP in the game. Is Dokkan a turn-based game? Technically, yes, it is, yes. What is your favorite mode in Dokkan / Legends, and why? For Legends, I might already know the answer, PvP. For Legends, it's PvP. Favorite mode in Dokkan? It's got to just be like the difficult traditional content. So like Red Zone, the legendary events, whenever they give us one of those, because we haven't gotten one in a while. Super Battle Road, Extreme Super Battle Road, but probably Red Zone for now, because that is the most difficult form of content that exists in the game, and lets us actually use like our most powerful units to their most potential. Okay, let's move on. What unit or celebration can be the pinnacle of hype for you now that we already had Namek Saga? It's got to be some sort of end of, well, I don't want to say end of Dragon Ball, but Demon King Piccolo Saga related. Some kind of Kid Goku versus Demon King Piccolo, right? That's definitely it for me, for sure. Do I think Dokkan should do more crossovers with other anime, like it did with One Piece, while adding new summonable / free-to-play characters from the crossover anime, permanent events, etc.? So the question is, do I think they should do more crossovers? I don't know what the franchising costs, what the licensing costs are that are related to doing crossovers like that. So I can't give like a definitive answer on if they should do it or not, because I can't look at the financials and say, okay, yeah, it's worth doing this or it's not worth doing this. But it would be cool if they did. I'd be for it if they did. I just don't know what the back end work would look like. You know, if they did a crossover with like, you know, JoJo or something like that. And I don't know what kind of work would go into doing something like that. Right? For example, doing that might detract from the normal schedule, right? What if instead of getting heroes, they did that this year because they got to choose between one or the other? I don't know, just something to think about. They mentioned that they have stuff lined up to the 10th anniversary. Yes, they do. Do we believe Dokkan knows that this is when newer characters will be dropping, or do you think Dokkan is just hoping that the anime will be out by then? I don't think they would know that far in advance if there's going to be any plans for like a new anime or anything like that. I think them as a business, them as a game design studio, they have to account for X number of years or X amount of time in the future to have at least a roadmap of what their plans are going to be moving forward. I don't think it has anything to do with, you know, oh, okay, well, we know there's going to be an anime dropping 2 years from now. That's where we'll plan up until, and then, you know, when the anime comes out, then we can move from there. Like, I don't think that's how it works. Do I think we'll get LR Vegito Blue next worldwide celebration? So you're talking about in like a month and a half from now or 2 months from now? I think it's very likely. We have not gotten any Vegito character since STR, I think, right? When was the last Vegito character that came out? It was STR Vegito, right? A fusing one? That was Worldwide Celebration 2021? 2020? 2020. Yeah, it was 2020. Because 2022 was cooler. 2021 was Namek, and then, yeah, that was 2020 when we got the last Super Vegito. Or just Vegito in general. So I'm hoping that this year we get some kind of Vegito character. Whether it's Vegito Blue, whether it's Super Vegito, I'm down. I'm down for either. Give us Vegito. We've gotten a lot of Gogetas since then. Hello? There's another fusion that exists, right? No. Do I think there will ever be a rarity higher than LR? And second, again, I'll address the first question, I guess. Do I think there will ever be a rarity higher than LR? I mean, it's hard to say there will never be. I don't think there will ever be a rarity higher than LR. It's possible, right? I mean, it's possible. If they were to introduce a new rarity, then I think they'd probably have to retire TURs from being like the main rarity of the game. Because right now, TURs are still the main rarity, right? Every single SSR, Dokkan awakens into a TUR, and that's really where they stop. Unless they are initially planned to go further. The reason why I don't think there's going to be a rarity beyond LR is because that would make a lot of the TURs irrelevant. Unless they like really limited the amount of the new rarity that exists, which I don't think really I don't think it really makes sense to do. So I would say no to that. Second question is, what for you is my most anticipated Dokkan Fest exclusive or Carnival LR that I want to see released within Dokkan? The answer is Demon King Piccolo. It's criminal that we do not have at least a Dokkan Fest of him. It's really, honestly, at this point, it's just weird. This guy, do I quit? What is this? 2023 polls. LR Golden Frieza, Ice and Nova. Wow, you're really eating good here. And then Yamcha, and then God Vegeta, and then he has 4 Ice and Novas and 0 of the 8th anniversary unit. Do you quit? I mean, it just depends on if you are feeling like demoralized over not having good luck, I guess. If you are, then honestly, I'd probably say take a break at the very least. But keep in mind, we have Worldwide coming up. Maybe just like log in every day, get your stones, and then try your luck on the Worldwide banners. Then if you still continue to get bad luck, then maybe consider taking a break. That's what I would say. All right, next. How would I fix how villains are handled other than releasing more? Like if I had control over the release schedule of the game. This is a difficult question because there's not really like a definitive answer to just, yep, this is what I'll do. This will fix the problem. Like this is a problem that is deeply rooted into the very early stages of the game. And we are now almost 9 years into this game. It's not something you could very easily fix. I think the best way they could do this is an overhaul of the link system, but specifically for villain links. So for example, we have, I'll just outline, I'm going to define what I think the problem is. And that's going to depend, and that's going to determine what my solution would be. So my definition of what the problem is for villains is that a lot of the villains in the game don't have general common links with each other, right? We have Frieza and Cooler, who have like, you know, universe most malevolent, strongest clan in space. Like that's like the Frieza clan link. Those two links together. We have like the cells that have like ultimate life form, like what is it, like gentlemen, Attack of the Clones, like really weird links like that. Then we have the Boos, who have like Majin, Infinite Regeneration, Wall Standing Tall. And then we have like Bojack, who has like Galactic Warrior and Hera Clan. And then Turles has like Destroyer of the Universe. Like the problem with villains is we have a lot of these links that are very specific to certain characters. And like the biggest equivalent I could really think of for superclass units that have those is like Vegeta and Trunks having like royal lineage, which I don't really think it's that big of a problem because guess what? There's a lot of Vegetas and a lot of Trunkses that exist in the game. Not really so much for Turles. Not really so much for Bojack. Not really so much for like first form Cell, right? So I think what I would do to fix that problem would be to take a lot of those specific links and just conjoin them into one link or multiple links. Like, so let's say we take all those links and we just change each of those links into 1 or 2 links. That way you can have a baseline where you can have first form Cell linked up next to Bojack, and all of a sudden they have like 3 links that are shared amongst them. You know, you have like Big Bad Bosses, you have like the 2 new links, Fierce Battle, boom, they're working pretty well with each other. That's, in my opinion, the best way to solve this problem. But I don't really know how that would work logistically. Like, how would they just change that? I don't know. Honest thoughts about the hype regarding all the 8th anniversary summonable characters. So I can only answer this based on what I've seen, because I don't really... Honest thoughts about the hype. I guess he means the hype level. So, looking at the 8th anniversary, at least this is what I've seen, so you guys can let me know if I'm completely missing the mark or not. To me, at least, it seems that the 8th anniversary has the least level of hype compared to all past anniversaries. That's my observation about this. But that's not to say that people are still excited for it, right? I mean, the anniversary in this game, I would argue the anniversary is the second most hyped celebration of the year. I actually would put Worldwide above anniversary. But I mean, every anniversary has been exciting. I think every Worldwide celebration has been exciting. I would include this 8th anniversary in that bucket of it being a very exciting celebration, but I don't think it meets the same level as past anniversaries have. So my comment regarding that, I guess, my honest thoughts about that, I guess, would just be that I think they didn't handle the carnival banners well. I think they should have used the same format as Worldwide did last year. So with the cooler, with metal cooler, and sorry, let me get my thoughts straight here. So it would be part 1. We have a Dokkan Fest LR banner, and we have a Carnival banner. So right, we had Final Form Cooler as the Dokkan Fest, and then we had the Revival Tech Goku as the Carnival character. I think they should have done the same format during the anniversary and had one Dokkan Fest, one Carnival banner in part 1, and one Dokkan Fest and one Carnival banner in part 2. That to me would have at least spread the hype amongst the entire portion of the anniversary. And in my opinion, that's really, like, I was under the impression that that was the reason for redesigning the format of these big celebrations. So now I'm a bit confused as to why they even introduced Carnival banners in general. Like, I don't know. Why? I don't know. One other thing as well is I think that the character choices themselves for the Carnival banners are not the greatest. Clearly, I'm more of a villain lover than most people. I would have preferred if the Carnival banners were for Omega and Kid Buu, right? Just the direct antithesis of what we're seeing for the Dokkan banners, or the Dokkan Fest banners, right? The villains that both the Dokkan Fest characters fought against. I think it would have made a lot more sense to do it that way, but they gave us Kid Gohan from the Dragon Ball Z intro and base form Goku from the Dragon Ball Kai intro, which somehow they link to the Spirit Bomb. I mean, it's very, 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 very niche. They kind of reached for that one, but that's what it is. I think they're a little bit not hype enough for the anniversary. I mean, in my opinion, they would have made more sense to do the villains. That made more sense, but I think that does have a lot to do with it. What is my favorite thing about Dokkan? My favorite thing about Dokkan is you can be very casual about the game and still enjoy it. Probably would be my favorite thing about the game. I'm going to be honest, I have not been playing the game as much as I did years ago. But the good thing about the game is I can still enjoy it to the same level by not playing it as much, which I think is a good thing. What's my favorite release this year or ever? Well, that's a completely different question. My favorite release this year, definitely Piccolo Jr. Yeah, it's got to be Piccolo Jr. He's talking about 2023, right? Finally, they recognized that fight between Goku and Piccolo Jr. from the 23rd World Tournament, right? I'm glad that they did that, so I got to say Piccolo. And I think they actually designed him to be pretty good as well. Favorite release ever? Dude, we're talking about almost 9 years worth of releases. It's got to be the Namek Worldwide Celebration Part 1 banners. Full Power Frieza versus Namek Goku. It's got to be that. If Omatsu asked me to be the next producer, would I do it? No. I would not. What would be the hypest celebration for you that I think will eventually happen? Yeah, so I legitimately think that like a Demon King Piccolo Saga celebration could happen, where it's Demon King Piccolo versus Kid Goku. I think that's a realistic possibility. How do I feel about the 8th anniversary Part 2 LRs? Well, kind of already answered this, but we'll see. Would I be open to them doing that style of character again? I mean, I don't think the picks are bad. I just think there are better picks, I guess would be my answer to that. I don't know if just continuously pumping out Gokus and Gohans. Well, I mean, I don't know if I want to say continuously pumping out Gohans, because Gohan hasn't really gotten that many releases, but been a lot of Gokus, man. We got 3 out of 4 of the characters that came out during the 8th anniversary as Goku, right? Then we got God Goku. Then we got 23rd World Tournament Goku. Then we got Spirit Bomb Goku from Turtles movie. Like, a million Gokus. Goku's forever. But I think those characters would have been better served releasing at a different time. Is I guess my comment. What my comment will be about that, right? I don't think those are bad choices as characters in the game. I just don't think they're the best options for the anniversary. That's my comment. What is my current passion about? Wait, what? This is not Dokkan related, but I guess we'll look at this. What is my current passion about the future of my life and my channel? Okay, I'll answer my channel because that's most relevant here. Do I plan on making this content till the game drowns out? Okay, I get that. Yeah, that is Dokkan related. I do not plan on quitting Dokkan, and I do not plan on stopping content for Dokkan. I will tell you guys. So I don't. Most of you guys know I don't do YouTube as my full-time job. I have a real. I don't want to degrade other people that do YouTube full time by calling it a real job, but I have a traditional job that I do outside of YouTube, and I consider YouTube as a hobby currently. I don't plan on quitting Dokkan, and I do not plan on stopping content for Dokkan. I think I feel pretty comfortable with the way that I've been putting videos out for Dokkan, where it's basically just me taking a look at all the new summonable characters, doing summons, then doing showcases on them. You guys can let me know what other kinds of Dokkan content you'd like to see me do. This is a different video than I usually do for Dokkan, but I do like to do these occasionally, right? We're in the middle of a big celebration, the anniversary. We are going to be moving into Worldwide as well, which I'll definitely do a bunch of videos on. Hopefully we get some new difficult content, which I'll make videos on as well. So I do like still doing Dokkan content on my channel. Now, clearly Dokkan is not the best performing on my channel. Like, that's obvious. I would have a much more successful... I'll tell you guys, I would have a much more successful channel if I strictly focus on Legends instead of Dokkan. 100%. That's just the way YouTube works. YouTube is not like Variety. But I think that I have established myself as a big enough presence in Legends content creation to where doing Dokkan content doesn't technically hurt my other videos for Legends. If that was the case, I might start to think about maybe dropping off some Dokkan content, but that's not the case. So I'm going to continue doing this for the foreseeable future with Dokkan content. And honestly, even if there was maybe a slight negative impact that Dokkan videos would have on my Legends videos, I wouldn't really care that much because, again, I am not reliant on the performance of my YouTube channel because I have another job, right? My main source of income is not YouTube. So that's really what is behind my motivation for this channel in terms of Dokkan content. Do I think it would be a good idea to sync Global and JP? So I'm not sure what kind of legwork they would need to do in order to sync the games, because I don't like, what would they do? They would just release like banners very rapidly to catch us up to JP. I think just looking at this from a very general perspective, is it a good idea to have both versions on the same schedule? I think the answer is yes. I think it is. From a very general perspective, is it good that JP and Global would be the same schedule? Everything happens at the same time. I think yes. I think it would be a good idea. The problem is, how do we deal with all the things that would happen as a result of that, right? How do we deal with actually getting Global and JP to be on the same schedule? How do we get the address the differences in versions? Are there going to be differences, or it's just going to be schedules are going to be aligned? Like, is Global going to have Pilaf Trove Pack still? Is Global going to have tickets still for like right now? The anniversary banners have tickets that you're able to get from summoning. JP doesn't have those. So those things that typically Global gets that JP doesn't get, are those things going to go away? Or are they going to remain on Global, even though we get same time celebration as JP? So I don't know what that looks like, but in terms of just generally speaking, I would say that having both versions on the same schedule is a good idea, yes. What is the number one thing I love and the number one thing I despise about the game? So I answered this first part already earlier. The number one thing I love about the game is that you can afford to play the game very casually and still enjoy it. And the number one thing I despise about the game, if I had to pick one thing, it would definitely be the friend system still. Just today, I recorded my 55%, what is it? The 55% Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta showcase. I actually had trouble finding 55% friends. I found a couple of like 69%, 79% rainbow friends, but it was really tough finding a 55% friend. It was. And of course, I want to make sure that I have the 55% friend for the 55% showcase. So it was a little tough to do that. And I just think they don't. At this point, is it fair to say that for some reason they don't want to update the friend system? Like, there has to be some reason why they don't want to do it, and I don't know the answer. Do I think a non-real-time PvP mode, for example, kind of like One Piece Treasure Cruise, where you have your offense team versus an opponent's defense, would hurt the game? I can't answer this because I don't really know how that system works in One Piece Treasure Cruise. So I'll just answer this question in the form of, would PvP hurt Dokkan? Which is also tough to answer because I don't know how they would implement PvP, right? Just straight up saying, would PvP be good or bad for the game? I don't know, because it would depend on how it's implemented. But I think just taking a look at what Dokkan is and the game being 9 years in, I would probably say that Dokkan probably does not need PvP, right? I think there is more of a potential for it to have a negative effect on the game than a positive effect. Just because the game has been designed for 9 years to exist without the mode. And there is a lot more of a downside potential of PvP than an upside potential of PvP. That's my opinion. I mean, again, they could knock it out of the park and give us some crazy fun, good PvP mode, but I think it serves to lead us down a path of a downward trend more than an upward trend. What do I think about people of global foresight? And you don't do Dokkan collaborations anymore, how come? Collabs are just really hard to schedule with my schedule now because of my time zone. So I'm in JST right now. It's really tough to schedule. I work every weekday, and editing I just don't have time to do. So that's basically what it comes down to for the collabs. What do I think about global, like people saying about global foresight? I mean, there's some merit to it because, like, for example, I'll just give you an example. We know that Tanabata on JP this year is Super Saiyan 4 Goku, which means that Global's going to get him later this year, either in November or December. So because of that, that might influence people's decision to summon on the GT banner for the 8th year anniversary over the Buu Saga banner. And then that also might make you spend your 8th anniversary currency on the free-to-play Super Saiyan 4 Goku to use as you know, super attack food for the Super Saiyan 4 Goku later this year. So there is merit, like legitimately there is merit in playing global and having global foresight. It does exist. But I think when we compare the power of global foresight now to what it used to be back in the day, it's a lot less powerful now because the schedule has become a lot less predictable right now. If you think about how many same time celebrations Global has to JP as they did back in the day, it's like not even like, how many celebrations do we share with JP? Golden Week, Goku Day pretty much is the same. Like, well, not always, but Golden Week is definitely one. Saiyan Day is one. Worldwide Celebration is one. Recently, they've thrown in New Year's as well. So there's a lot of same time celebrations happening throughout the year. And so I think global foresight has sort of diminished a little bit, but it still exists. Imagine Akatsuki emailed you one day and said, we're letting each content creator make changes to 5 units each in the game. Who are the 5 units you are changing, and what would I change while keeping their basic design idea intact? Except for Raditz. Well, he was going to be one of them. I don't know if I can think of 5 right now, but I would definitely change LR Ultimate Gohan. I would definitely change Physical Turles. I think I would change... I mean, I'm just thinking of recent characters. I think I would change LR Super Buu. That's 3, I think. What else would I change? I would probably change the Tech 23rd World Tournament Goku to give him guaranteed guard. A lot of these changes are just like going to be like guaranteed guard and guaranteed super attack instead of 70% chance and stuff like that. That kind of thing. Like, I've mentioned this in showcases before, but I'll say it again. And I don't think 70% chances should exist unless you're talking about dodge. If a character has a 70% chance to dodge, that's fine. I don't think any character should have a 100% chance to dodge. I think they made a very big blunder with Tech Caulifla. But every single mechanic that is not dodge, I think 70% chance should not exist. So for example, with LR Ultimate Gohan, he has a 70% chance to launch an additional super attack, right? I think it's when Ki is like 20 or more, I think is what it is. That should just be 100%. Even both of the 8th anniversary LRs, when you have 18 Ki with them, they have a 70% chance for their additional to be a super. That should just be guaranteed. LR Super Buu, 70% chance to guard. That should just be guaranteed. 23rd World Tournament Tech Goku. I think, actually, he might have a 50% chance to guard, not a 70% chance. I can't remember. But every 70% chance to do something that isn't dodging should just be guaranteed. 70% chance to guard should be 100. 70% chance to do a super attack should be 100. 70% chance to activate your scouter should be 100. Like, all these things should be 100%. If they're comfortable giving a 70% chance for these things to activate, I don't think 100% chance would be that much different. So I think that's my philosophy on that. Okay, we'll do a few more. What are my thoughts on an inconsistent release schedule? Example, LR Buu, EZA Physical Beerus. So I think those characters are... well, I think this more so pertains to Buu. Because this year we've seen a lot of releases that just don't make sense. I don't know if it's an inconsistent release schedule. I just think they're releasing characters and EZAs that don't align with the objectives of the current celebration. So, you know, Dokkan Fest Kale coming out, and then we get LR Super Buu in Part 2. Like, why? Why does that... What logical... What path did they take in their discussions to, like, reason that LR Super Buu would be a good release at that time? What was their discussion that they had that they came up with that conclusion? I don't know. I don't know. What was their discussion that they had when they decided to release EZA, LR Gohan, and Goten for the Turles celebration, instead of doing the LR Turles character to actually work well with the new Dokkan Fest Turles? I don't know. I just think a lot of these releases have been nonsense, and they don't correspond with the objectives of the celebrations that they're in. That's the biggest issue I see. Okay, I don't know much about Dokkan, but I gotta ask, thoughts on this celebration and with them finally being represented, do you think we can get more OG Dragon Ball representation in the future? Yes, I hope so. I hope so. I did like the celebration a lot. I think there was like 1 week where they didn't do anything, and people were like, oh my god, this is the worst celebration ever. Which was funny, because then the next week was really good. But yeah, I thought it was good. It was fine. And yeah, hopefully that... means we could potentially get some more OG Dragon Ball stuff in the future. I think they're probably a little bit more comfortable doing that now that they've been giving us a lot less hype characters as big releases. Do I actually think Global and JP will ever merge, despite the anniversaries happening at different times? So it depends what you mean by merge. I don't think they're going to become like one game, if that's what you're saying. The most likely outcome of Global and JP quote-unquote merging would be if Global just caught up to JP in terms of schedule. So if like they rushed out Dokkan Fest Kale, how many characters are we even behind, JP? They rushed out Dokkan Fest Kale. They rushed out LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku. What else are we missing? Dokkan Fest Turles, and then LR Turles Movie Spirit Bomb Goku. Is that it? That's probably it, right? I think that's all we don't have on global. And then at that point, we'd be caught up with them. That is the most realistic possibility I think that they could do to quote-unquote merge the versions or sync the versions. When people say sync the versions, they mean syncing the release schedule of the versions. They don't actually mean making the games the same game. Do I think they will be merged? No, I don't think they will sync. I don't. I think we've been down this path a lot. We've been very, very close to JP before. But every time we get close, this bookmark this or save this, because this is going to happen every year. We have a period where global seems very close to JP in terms of releases. And then every year people are like, oh my God, it's happening. It's going to happen. And then global intentionally releases filler banner and then filler banner. And then there's a week of nothing. And then all of a sudden JP's ahead like 2 more releases. That's how it always works. So they're intentionally keeping the distance between the 2 release schedules at that point for a reason, I think. What are my overall thoughts about how they handle EZAs in certain celebrations? Gohan and Goten with Turles and Beerus in the Tanabata celebration. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I think it's dumb. I think EZA characters should be there to help the main character. That's my opinion. I mean, clearly that's not what they think. They don't think that way, because otherwise they wouldn't have released the characters that they have for EZAs. Like they wouldn't have released Physical 17's EZA with Super 17. They wouldn't have released EZA Gohan and Goten, their EZA, with Physical Turles. Right? I mean, those are just the 2 biggest examples I can think of that just don't make any sense at all, but thematically they work. I think they probably value theme over like actual function of the EZA units, which is a little strange to me, because if they actually had EZA the Turles, the LR Turles in the Physical Turles celebration, don't you think people maybe would have considered summoning for Physical Turles if they knew that he had a really, really good partner and a potential EZA LR Turles? Like, wouldn't that have positively affected the sales during that period? I don't know. As opposed to Gohan and Goten, who had no character release around that time that helped them. Like, I don't know. It's just very strange. Very, 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 very strange. All right, we'll do one more. We're not going to make this the last question. Do I prefer Legends over Dokkan? They're different games. I play them at different times. It's my best answer I can give. All right, this will be the final one. What, in my opinion, is the most organized and easy to follow box setup? Interesting. I know it's all preference, but curious how you set it up, and the way to set it up is awkward sometimes. So the way I have my box set up is it's by typing. So I have AGL, Tech, Int, STR, and Physical. And then within those typings, I have it sorted. I think it's by attack. I might have it sorted. Let me actually open my game and double check this, but I think it's definitely sorted by typing. And then within it being sorted by typing, I think it is sorted by, yes, it is sorted by attack. And then doing it that way basically means you have so it's sorted by attack, but it's also sorted by superclass and extreme. So I have the top of my box is AGL characters. I have superclass characters at the top, all sorted by attack. And then I have extreme class AGL characters, all sorted by attack. And then we scroll down, and then there's tech units under that. So that's how I have my box sorted. That's how I've had it sorted forever. I'm used to it that way. I don't think there is like an optimal way to organize your box. I think it's just what you're most comfortable with and what you're most used to. That is the way I've sorted my box since I started playing the game. And so I know where everything is in my box that way. So. All right, we are about to hit the 40-minute mark here. I think that's where we will go ahead and call it for the Dokkan Q&A video. We went through a decent amount of comments. How many did we go through? Like, probably around the same amount as Legends, almost 25-ish, 20, 25 comments. It's pretty good. Unfortunately, of course, we were not able to get to every single comment here, so let me know down below what you guys think of this kind of video. Do you want to see more Dokkan Q&A/discussion videos? I do like doing these because it's pretty relaxing for me just to sit back and talk about this stuff, but let me know if you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you guys all in the next one.